are now closed for good. That venue was called 37 Main. Thanks for being with us. I'm Ben Swan.
And I'm Megan Packer in for Sharon Reed. They've had locations in Buford and Johns Creek at least up until last week. They say they were forced to shut down after Johns Creek city leaders received several noise complaints. Will Frampton is on top of this story for us today. And Will, that was a popular spot.
Yeah, Megan and Ben, usually no less than 1,000 people here every weekend to watch local bands as well as some nationally known acts as well. But as you can see, the signage here has been taken down. They had to close up right when business was as good as it's ever been. At this show in January, roughly 800 people packed in to hear the band Electric Avenue. The 80s tribute group was a regular here, typically drawing a full house every time they took the stage. Little did they or any of their fans realize this would be one of their last performances on this stage.
And that same energy that you really feel in that video, it was like that every weekend.
Co-owner Joe White and his partner David White got their first citation for a violation of the city's nuisance ordinance a couple of years ago, right after they opened. But none since, until this spring when they received 7 from the complaints of residents living nearby.
It just became this big snowball effect of everything that we were no longer allowed to do.
A judge ruled against them, placing them on probation. And then last month, the city changed its noise ordinance to protect nearby homeowners. Joe says it was the last straw, forcing them to close.
They rushed to pass their noise ordinance that essentially shut us out of business.
From a general perspective, it's absolutely the type of business that we'd like to have in Johns Creek.
Assistant City Manager Justin Kerouac says they had no problem with 37 Main as a business. It was the noise complaints. Even in spite of $50,000 in sound buffer upgrades White says they made.
They will argue that they're being chased out of town because Johns Creek just doesn't want that kind of operation going on there. I would say that's patently false. It's absolutely the type of business and just business climate in general we want to foster and cultivate. Unfortunately, the way that it operated and continued to operate over the period of time was just unsuitable.
Well, for whatever the reasons may be, the owners say they have already moved on, and they're looking at a couple of offers elsewhere to open up somewhere else in North Fulton County, and they say they hope to do that, open up that new location sometime around the 1st of next year. Live in Johns Creek, I'm Will Frampton, CBS 46 News.